remember what we've said. We will never be able to activate a new paradigm in this, let's say, church, congregation, whatever world, if we cannot activate a new paradigm concerning money. Because it is important that never money is wrong, as we've said, never be negative amount money. Money is not evil. Money will only show us where is the worship in your heart. There's lots of things about money, and money is very good because it is the means to an end. It is only the means, but just be careful. Without the means, there will also not be an end. It's always the means, but without the means, we will miss the end. But it is very important. What I see in the wealth creators' lives is that they bring together the relationship, the family, and the money thing. And it becomes an enormous, powerful thing. Because it's a biblical thing. Think about being part of a wealth creation family where the bank of your grandfather or more back, is already sponsoring your car and your medical and 1 week holiday where we get together as a whole family and they sit together with you, do plan together, and they ask you your plan, and they offer you 0% loans for what you want to do, and you can ask for people in the family to come and teach you about business. Who don't want to be part of something like that? It is an absolute, It's an absolute success, guaranteed basically. Because they look after you, they serve you, and it's basically everything for free. Because we're family, we need to look after each other. We need to make sure that every person lives successfully in what is in his heart. They're not telling you what to do. If you want to open a soup kitchen, that's also fine. If you feel your life is more this or socially, that's not the point. We want you to live what is in your heart. That's what it is all about. And find a financial way to finance it and live it. But when we look at the Bible, I'm not going deeply into this financing because lots to say. I just want to shift your paradigm a little bit concerning it. We all know that tithes in the Old Testament, and we can have lots of arguments, But I just believe, if people in the Old Testament with a little bit of grace could tithe, we in the New Testament with lots of grace can tithe. Call it tithing, call it whatever you want. We can do better than tithing. That's it. I don't prefer not maybe to call it tithing, but at least you can do better than the 10%. But don't worry and don't get under condemnation about the 10% because it's not about the 10% in the first place. It's about the heart. We need to find the heart of this thing. And I believe that maybe people are battling to sort of tithe because they don't know what's the heart of the thing. And we want to replace that thing and get back to that. We don't want to centralize money. We want to invest in people's lives. We want to invest in missions. We want to see the money brings, the momentum and the spiritual momentum that we wanted to see, and not only bring us buildings and more programs and more stuff and whatever. One of the biggest problems maybe in the financial world, in the church world, and remember church and congregation is different, is the fact that the church has got no heart for you in bringing you to a place of financial freedom. You are under obligation to bring your tithe, but if you go bankrupt, we'll pray for you, No. Hear it well, we'll pray for you. At least we will pray for you. But that's not the answer. That's not family. That's not. And when we go down, people constantly say, but now I'm down in the dumps and without money. Now no one is here. No money is here. No person, no relationship. When I'm in the problems and I need people, no one is here. And we need to deal with that thing because let me tell you, the structure cannot finance those type of stuff. Applying threefold, and after going through 3 committees, after 3 months, they pay the person that's got the need 3 months backwards, Maybe he's already dead, Now we buy the food. We need quick reaction to needs that's going on. We need to have flat structures, how we really can get money and how we're going to do it and what it is all about. Because the need on ground level is a great need. We need to be very creative concerning it. And that I think we're going to talk about a lot in the future. We need to get to the place where people want to be better, more impressed with money than just money in, money out, money in, money out. I love it when people get absolutely impressed by the concept of wealth creation is the creation of money. You don't work for money. You don't make a plan. You create money out of thin air. You bring the principle of fold, 30-fold, 60-fold, 100-fold. You make money according to 100 times. It's no longer percentage. 100% is only one-fold. We want at least 60 or 30-fold. And when people get into this stuff, they get impressed, man. Why? Because multiplication is the spirit side of money. Money's got a spirit side. If money doesn't have a spirit side, it won't be able to be mammon. But what is the right spirit side of money? And we as the believers of God or in the family, we need to lay hold of this capacity that is in this system called money. And we need to take that potential out and start to change the world. Because we need to do it. And maybe I can just mention it here. Our friend Jasper, I mean, he developed a cooperative bank. And we will give you the stuff of this through. I always say to myself, I don't like it that certain religious groups can get lower interest rates at ABSA. Why can I not get it? You cannot get it. You're a Christian and you're normal. You need to be part of this religious group, Islam. And you can get lower interest rates. But luckily we have people like Jasper that said, but maybe we can even do better than ABSA. Maybe we can create a bank where we can give people 0 per interest rate loans. People, where on earth do you find better news than the gospel and loans are for 0? Huh? I love it when I talk to people, when I can't see they don't respond to the gospel, I tell them, do you know what? We've opened up a bank. We give 0% interest loans. What? Tell me. There's ways and means to get to a person and to open up his heart. And it is not a trick. It is really true. It's running for 4 years. We'll show you how. Why can we not do it? It's a vast difference to buy a house on 1 million, a house for 1 million, and you pay the bank 3 million. Now you can buy the house for 1 million and pay 1 million. It's possible. Why? Because there are creative people in the body that knows how to draw the potential out of the money. And that's what we are doing today. We are looking for how can we release the potential that's everywhere. In every person that you see, God has sent someone with potential. Spiritually, in every way, money, whatever. But we are so indoctrinated by the system that you cannot do it. You cannot make it. You will not be able to get there. And we want the message out that, listen, if you are here and you're part of congregation, I want to know what's your part. I want to see your part. I want to define your part. And it is not to put you under pressure and law. But it is not so... It's maybe not common sense. It's logical. Your responsibility starts at home. Your responsibility at business. Tell me your financial situation. We want to facilitate you in a holistic discipleship way so that you are successful in all 7 relationships, including your money. Because, I've been through Moneywise and we've been through around about 900 people and only 4 people financially free. The best is we're still struggling and we need the money, people. We need the money for the mission. I don't need the money so that you can deposit it in my account. I want the money so that you can finance your own mission. That's what it is all about. And we need to find ways. And I must say, I've never seen anything that's bringing hope into people's lives like a 0% loan. We had people Wednesday night here, and when I told them about it, we couldn't get them out of this gate. So they were here an hour after. We said, please go home. But where is the forms where we can sign up? You know why? Because it's exciting. It's exciting, and there's many more things like that. You know where it is? It's in you. It's in you. Maybe a different area. It's in you. There's a creative new thing in you that you need to bring to the table that we can all share in it and all be part of it. Now, this is another part of the good news. I've been hearing this tithing thing for long years, and I've got no reaction in my heart because I believe in more than 10%, to be quite honest. I'm not bound by 10%. I don't believe I believe you give, there's generosity and there's lots of things and there's lots of theology around it, but I believe the main thing is that you must recover the heart of giving. It's not a 10, a 20. I mean, I've heard the story of Mr. Colgate toothpaste, eh? That guy opened up that business and he said that he will give 10% of all the profit. And and then he will move it to 20, 30, 40. The day when he died, he gave away 90% of the business profit. Because it was for him a game with the Lord. And he said, Lord, this is why I'm doing it, and this is what I'm going to do, and he did it. And this is what we're doing. We're playing people. Money-wise is a game. Money is a game. The world is a game. Your marriage is a game. Your children is a game. Everything is a game. We need to bring it back to a game. And believe it or not, congregation life is it's a game. And God is the referee, and you don't need to worry. Accept His, whatever, when He blows the whistle, just play the game. Get the heart of the thing. When we miss the heart, we always look at the rugby, and you can see the team, and when it's got a heart, But the moment it's like just running and trying, it's all disorientated and whatever. We want to recapture the heart of the whole thing. We want to make money because we're going to mobilize people and we're going to get the gospel everywhere it needs to be. Because no system is going to pay for it, we're going to pay for it. Why? Because we can pay for it. It's not impossible. We're going to create the money. We're going to make the plans, and we're going to see dramatic ways in people is going to flourish and do it all the way. But the Bible also says to us that in Malachi 3 verse 10, that bring the tithing, the whole tithing to the house of the Lord. When I went back to the Word and studied this thing, I came to a very interesting conclusion. That the tithing is not all about the storehouse. Now you can say the storehouse is the church, is the building, the structure, or you can say it's the people. Well, define it for yourself, because you must do with it what the Lord is telling you. But when you read all the scriptures in the Bible concerning tithing, you will come to the conclusion that tithing was working in 3-year cycles. In year 1 and year 2, people were supposed to save their tithing and to go up to the temple and eat their own tithing. And then in year 3, they need to send their tithing to the storehouse, to the temple. And the tithing was then used for the Levites and the poor and the widows and whatever. Now you can either say 3 cycles, or you can say 1/3 of every tithing, every month, every year. The tithing was working in a cycle of 3 years. The purpose of the tithing in the first 2 years was that you people need to save up for yourself, because you are responsible for this house and the education of this house, and get this house to its purpose and its creation purpose and whatever. And you need to go up to the temple, and you need to get your whole family there so that you can pay for the trip and pay for the whatever, because it was at least 10 days, and very often, not only once and whatever. Go there for 10 days, pay for everything, and sit under the word with the priest and the things and whatever is happening, so that you as a family can get investment in you and can get input into your lives, because you as the house priest are responsible for the growth of this family. Therefore you must eat your tithe. Hey, is ek nou kwaai? And that's the problem. Yes, of course, there was a third that was set apart for priests and this and that and whatever. And I believe even in the New Testament, we don't even need to stick to it. But I believe in every law in the Old Testament, there was a principle applicable for a relational purpose. It is not about the law. It's not about tithing. It's about people. It's about doing something, to do something with it, so that we can so that people can benefit from it, who the people ever may be. But in this case, the Bible says to us that 2/3 of your tithing, you're responsible to sponsor a constant growth program or whatever for your family, so that you can get them at the point of full development from birth unto university. I believe it. That's what the Bible is saying. And you need to link up with programs like this, with Jasper and Geek Trust and whatever, and then you can multiply your money. You can buy houses. You can buy it basically on the price. There's no interest. You can go wild. You can live any dream that you can ever think of. But don't think it out. Just live the dream that's in your heart. But you can basically live anything. If you see and we're going to come back, later on with more stuff over this. So we're just drawing the lines on whatever. But you as the house leader are the person that's responsible for the wealth in the house. And you must see to it that the whole house start to create wealth. That's why my family, when they was at grade 8, they had to open up a business. Because it's part of school. You must have a business. Maybe the government is not saying that, but we're saying it. Music was part of our school. They had the business. We had to close down Shalom's. I think he had 3 businesses just to get him through matric, because he was making too much money, and he doesn't have time for school any longer. You see, we need to develop people. That's what it is all about in all areas of 7 relationships, and the tithing is absolutely essential in it. This is not now a very nice announcement so that you can go and tithe 2/3, not, Just put it in a bank and do nothing, or just eat it up. So I physically eaten it. No, you need to eat it up in terms of you need to have a definite program and a plan for your family that you need to pay for. I take my family on courses. I take them to places. I take them to stuff where we get input because we need it to develop them, and it can be very costly. But we are not investment orientated. There's the most stunning stuff running in Johannesburg in terms of wealth creation. I tell you, it's mind-boggling. And the worst thing about it all is that I don't even know if these people know the Lord. But they are creating millions and millions, and they love it and they enjoy it. And we Christians, we sit it and we are so dry that we can't even finance our own mission to the neighbor. We need to get alive, people. We need to get out of this thing. If we can't change our financial paradigm, we can just as well close down, because we're going to need money to finance this congregation thing. It's not going to run without finance, and it's not bad news. It is so. And we just need to make peace with it and do it. And come to a point where we can actually win the system. And I always say to people, you can only win the system if you can open up your own bank. You can open up your own bank either by 2 ways. By creating your own bank in your trust, or by just going to Jasper and open up your bank. Because the bank is already open. You just sign up. It's a bank of believers. It's people that will not put law on you and run on you and whatever. It's people that are as much interested in your success as that what you are in your own success. Because that's the purpose of the bank. It's not a lot of unbelievers sitting there. It is a beautiful new way of doing things that we can do together, that we can run with together, and we can achieve much more than we can ever thought of in our own lives. Okay, that is what I want to say about tithes. The Bible basically says that we must be good stewards. Define for yourself what is good stewardship. Define for yourself, where do you really multiply money yourself? Where do you spend that money? Realize the thing that we are all full-time. How do we, let's just quickly focus on this thing. Now we have a person like Michael. Michael's natural world is the business world. I've seen this very often. So he's sold out to the Lord, he's doing business, he's telling his business people, he's doing business and wherever, he's telling them about the Lord, but he's young. He's not fully developed in himself. So as the years go by and he goes through the school of life, because that's the only school that's really teaching you, you can maybe feel like him that, I don't want to be here. Let's go to the seminary and the Bible school, that I can become equipped. And then you find out they don't really equip you. Because the school where you are there is the best school. Just get the people to get to you, the right mentors to school you and to help you. So he can grow in his own ministry. He's a businessman, but he ministers because he overflows. He's ministering to unbelievers, a mentor people to him and whatever. But 10, 15 years off the road, he's so established in what he's doing, that more people, more and more demand time from him because this thing is working in his life. So there can come a time where he need to close down his business or give it to other people that they can run it for him, that he can redeem his own time so that he can have more time just overseeing the business, running now full time on this side, because there's a demand because of the maturity of the ministry in him. And he's paying for the thing himself. Sometimes you can either close down here, but preferably don't close down here, just manage it. And in the process of 15 years, you can start to get yourself financially free, that he can live out of his passive income and not live out of the business income. That's also possible. That's actually the best way. But what happens is that there will by time come what we say fivefold ministry that will start to be around houses or outside in the houses, but have more than just for the houses, for one house. And people will get to know you, and people will ask you to come there, and there will always be fivefold ministry. We encourage you to go there. There is no centralized place where I will monitor you and release you and decide if you're right or not or whatever. We don't need that. The Lord will do that. People will ask you into the house, or even come to your conference of thing that you busy holding for them, say maybe, and like we do. And we say that as fivefold ministry, we never ask money from people. Because number one, we're supposed to get it out of our own lives. But as fivefold ministry, it is not wrong. It is actually biblical that people sow into people's lives. If people feel that this is something that's of substance, sow into their lives. How? How much? Ask the Lord. Ask the head. The head will tell you how much. It's not for me. I don't expect money from any one of you at any time in the future. If I receive money from you, it will be from the Lord. Because if there's not substance in the thing, it will die, and no one will give money. If there's substance, it will work, because God's work will never lack God's money. So it's a biblical way that we sow money, because we must encourage a flow of money in the congregation. Not only to the fivefold ministry, but upcoming fivefold ministry. Lots of other ministries that's maybe in houses around and whatever. And we have developed a system that we will show you now in the next session, how we will know about this stuff, and we can link onto this stuff, but you will decide where you will spend your money, how much and what. Because we want it that way, because we keep it out of manipulation. It is not wrong for people to have a salary, but salaries in congregations is a big problem. Big problem. But the flow of money in a congregation is there. We need to keep it like that. There's never a houvast, what you call that, manipulation, place of manipulation, because we always stir as much as possible, but we want to keep the flow and let it flow. Money is the number one problem amongst men. And if we don't make a plan where we get the ordinary person, every one of them, especially the house leader, to a place of financial freedom, I tell you, we're going to have problems. Because we're going to need money. And your tithe is not going to be enough. Because that's just like that. And it is not for the sake of money we want to make money. We want to make money because of what our hearts are in. And the stuff our hearts are in will ask money. But I tell you, we can create any amount of money. We just need to get creative. And now we have a bank. We can work through this bank. We can save 2 million rand on a 1 million deal. What are we going to do with this 2 million? I know what I'm going to do. My plans are in place. That's what it is all about. I'm living for this. You know, I am in property, but I'm only in property because of congregation. Because my passion is with the kingdom. But I've got something that I can do myself, in my case, property or whatever it may be. But I can multiply and I can do things that we can go forward. And we need to change this. Yes.